what you mean. Thanks a lot, Katerina. Welcome everybody. Welcome to my webinar. Broadcasting live from Mexico City. Today is the last day of March 31st, Friday, 1 a.m. 12 minutes past the hour, my local time in Mexico City. 7 a.m. 12 minutes past the hour, GMT time, and I will switch DST on Sunday. But again, the webinar will take place at 7 GMT time as always. So you don't have to worry about that, just mind the GMT time. Well, this is me myself, Alberto Alvarado. These are my social media, Google Plus, and my YouTube channel. I am maybe considering opening a Twitter account dedicated exclusively for trading, besides my personal one. So maybe I will, from Monday on, to add something there. I was told that maybe opening an Instagram thing, because of it manages pictures, etc. I never thought about that, so maybe Instagram. I am not familiar with that. I have never used it, so maybe on Monday, the ones that like Instagram, that I got to know that it is very popular, maybe I will have an Instagram account, and etc. So yeah, I'm getting social, pseudo. So today, guys and girls, and I can assure you that it's going to be a short webinar. I mean short as in not extended. I need to do some stuff in my time zone in some hours, so I need to have a rest. I need to sleep well. But of course, I was commenting you yesterday, in yesterday's webinar, that it was something important that I wanted to update overall on dollar yen. And because the preliminary price action boxes that I revealed yesterday, I was not very convinced if they were accurately drawn or not. So we're going to review how dollar yen is doing besides euro dollar, because I've been commenting last webinar, of course, that I am worried about potential Le Pen winning the French elections. I believe that if this woman really runs and be a candidate for the elections, she will win. So yeah, that could debacle maybe the euro dollar instantly. I don't know if the elections are this weekend or something. I am really not putting that much attention on euro dollar. But yeah, it's those are the dangers. Yeah, we have a lot of pressure on Donald Trump. Apparently, things are getting more and more complicated to him. Not only to accomplish the promises, whatever, but because, yeah, maybe he will be pushed and forced to quit way sooner than maybe a lot of people expected. I am still, how to say it, doubtful. I mean, it would be historical to have a president being impeached in less than 1 year. But the things are that the FBI investigation is continuing, and apparently yesterday the former military advisor, I believe, that worked was pushed to quit because of the Russian ties, apparently, is willing to maybe give a testimony under immunity. So that is something that could be super huge and could simply mean the finish of this guy's presidency. It's really unbelievable. But yeah, I believe that He was not, as I said before, this guy is a billionaire. Maybe you're going to learn something from him, is something about money. But governing a country is way more complicated. And when you spit on the face of the people that you need eventually to govern a country, when you dedicate all your time to spit on their faces, they will eventually spit you back. And that is what is happening. So it is very interesting. I don't know. It's been lately. Yesterday we're going to review that bullish movement in dollar yen. I don't know if this is related to that, but I wouldn't be surprised to see dollar strengthening in the next hours or days. Overall, because after this, I mean, this having a sworn and immunity testimony of somebody that has the right information maybe to impeach this guy is precisely this Tylerson, I believe is his last name. So this is huge news. And unfortunately for Donald Trump, this is not fake news. So suddenly, and all of a sudden, the reality of a potential impeachment increased like, I don't know, maybe if the impeachments in the next 2 years was 20%, I believe that it skyrocketed to 70% in the next 12 months. So that would, of course, have a bullish effect on dollar, because as, let's say, refugee, people would tend to go there. Under this circumstances, what you can expect maybe is the dollar yen to go down, because yen is usually like a safe haven. But under these specific circumstances, overall, that with or without Donald Trump, the economy of the United States will continue having the post-wave effects of Obama's administration, with or without Donald Trump. The Fed, the most likely, will continue hiking the rates, so it will be very difficult that investors would simply look at dollar yen at yen as an opportunity to buy when you have very good expectations for the American economy, even having Donald Trump potentially being impeached. So, but we need to maneuver delicately, because it is the markets are very unstable and visceral. So at some point they could simply turn to the downside. So I don't know. We're going to review that in the charts just to let you know the price action boxes that I put yesterday are completely, I just removed them because I really need more information to put some boxes. But well, even though we're going to try to analyze the price action under yesterday's price boxes, but on Monday, most likely things that I will have the definite price boxes. I really need to see what happens today, and overall how the market opens on Monday, because if my speculation is correct, that maybe this late USD strengthening is due to this fact that just happened yesterday, this Tylerson being willing to speak, to give information under immunity, it's huge news. So yeah, I wouldn't rule out that maybe on Monday we could have a huge gap on dollar, bullish on dollar, of course. And from what happens on Monday on, I could then draw the significant price boxes for the next 1 or 2 weeks. Okay. So we have some comments here. Here it says, RacerX, good morning, my friend. How are you doing? David, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. So first of all, hola amigo, ¿cómo estás? First of all, I want to check out euro dollar. This is the hourly chart. And yes, I will try to keep it short in this time because I don't have new information for you that could give context to this. So just quickly to see where we're standing on, and if we make it 1 hour, okay, but if we make it 30 minutes, maybe in this time will be more than enough. I was commenting yesterday that this was testing, let me take a picture of that. Here it is. It's difficult to decode why euro dollar, this is the daily chart by the way, why this is happening. Of course, it's a no-brainer that after having these heights retested, this should start moving down overall because of the real risks of having Le Pen winning that are higher than what the mass media wants to make people believe. And using the Donald Trump and Brexit experience, maybe the markets are trying to cover some risks and to leave some risks of leave risks on holding euro assets. So maybe these movements to downside maybe could be aligned with that, or it's difficult to decode how much this could be Donald Trump related. At the beginning of Donald Trump's administration, there was this gossip, because it was a gossip, that he was going to be impeached. But as all conspiracy theories, usually those are wrong. But yeah, apparently the weakness of his popularity is not helping him, and it's precisely, there is a saying in Spanish, I don't know if it's an equivalent in English, that on the deceased dog carries the fleece, meaning that when you have a sick dog, I mean weakness, those are the ones that are much more likely to have fleece in the skin, because a healthy dog have these senses. A weak dog doesn't. It's the same thing here. So Donald Trump has made him no favor by becoming unpopular. He's very skillful to build enemies and to build adversaries, than much more than having friends and having allies. And in this case, that is what is helping precisely this to happen, because if he was as popular as he was when he won, maybe this scenario wouldn't be happening now, this potential impeachment thing. But he has done things exactly the way his enemies wanted him to behave. It's stubbornly cocky, arrogant, etc. So yeah, he's going to pay, or apparently starting to pay, the price of his vanity. I don't know if you remember this Devil's Advocate movie that precisely talks about vanity. The devil said, "Vanity is my favorite sin." This guy is super vanity, has a lot of vanity, and I believe that this is the cause of the next debacle. I still cannot confirm if, I mean, it is like, in less than a year, could this guy be impeached? Well, sounds like science fiction, right? But yeah, this thing that happened yesterday is huge news. Because apparently, yeah, there are things that the FBI or the political or the Supreme Court and a lot of people in the United States would confirm that maybe actually, yes, he was so eager to win that he was just willing to do whatever it takes to win. I mean, that has been his life. He has been doing whatever it takes to win. And apparently, he had the opportunity maybe to have Russian support. We explained that this is the way superpowers behave, demonizing Russia, maybe trying to interfere in elections is like naive, because that's precisely what the United States does everywhere. So, but in this case, happened in the United States inside, because of course, if if Vladimir Putin is good at something, is at reading people. So of course he saw that maybe this guy was so willing to do whatever it takes to win, that he just simply offered him a way to win, and he took it. So here it says, it does seem like Terry Gilliam is writing this Trump's narrative. Who's Terry Gilliam? I don't know, because this guy is supposedly going to talk under immunity. Tylerson, I believe, is his last name, but I don't know. Monty Python? I don't know who's him. I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about, David, in this time. But well, all this. Yesterday we were saying that unless we see something really out of the box happening, maybe we could see massive movements. And this is one of the things that could move the markets. I don't think precisely negatively in the stock markets, but when you have this kind of uncertainties, of course, this is going to have a negative effect initially on all the higher risk assets. But in the other hand, for the educated investor, they know that the rally in the stock market is due not to this guy, because this guy has less than 100 days in power. So we cannot say that he has actually done something that it's proven to have brought the United States wealth, because he hasn't even started something. All the things have been blocked, and the things that he has done actually are not measurable in an economic way so far. So, well, it's hard to say how much these 3 days to the downside are related to potential Le Pen winning. I have, as I said, strongly believe that she will win if she runs, if she's there in the paper to vote for her. And of course, this impeachment thing that is starting moving forward, of course, is paying the price negatively. So, yeah, if both things align, it's not going to be good for the euro dollar. Sometimes I commented yesterday that I was surprised that actually Mrs. May was really made it to have Article 50 triggered before the end of March. I really didn't think that she was going to make it. But I believe that what she is doing maybe is trying to provide a UK more certainty under these huge potential debacle circumstances, like having Le Pen winning. That would simply hit very hard the worldwide economy. Not only the EU, of course, that would simply sink the pound initially, or it could have the complete opposite effect, because in uncertainty times, what you choose are the least risky assets. But usually when that happens, people simply choose dollar. They are not risking on pound overall, because we really don't know. And for the next 2 years, things are going to be at least the same with a relationship between UK and EU. But if you think about strategically that maybe the UK wanted to provide UK itself more circumstances that could actually help the UK to circumvent the best possible way, in the best possible manner, any potential EU debacle with Le Pen winning and maybe having Donald Trump impeached. Maybe that is why she was so eager to get this done before March, before French elections. No. Maybe it's completely random and it's just a coincidence. But when you're playing this super high stakes poker, you really need to foresee things that usually us as normal people, as civilians, we lack of information. So if we see there's been approaches from UK, United States, but not as we would have expected. Maybe this is the reason why actually Russia is wanting to keep its distance between now Donald Trump with Russia, because maybe Russia is seeing that actually maybe Donald Trump is going to be impeached, so maybe he's just wanting to be a little bit far from Donald Trump to avoid a potential very delicate incident. Because even though I don't believe this could escalate into a war between US and Russia, of course, but this would hurt definitely the relationships between the two nations. So we will get to the missile crisis between Cuba in the Cold War status. I mean, if hypocritically, if the administration in the United States screams and cries because, oh my God, Putin intervened, without looking what they do in everywhere in the world, intervening everything, spying on everybody, it's going to be hard. And again, people, the markets don't like uncertainty. They don't like this stuff when they happen. So now, again, we have to look for this kind of clues in the markets. And now in the euro dollar, what we're having here is how much is potentially Donald Trump related, Le Pen related. It's difficult to know. This is the this is the euro dollar again, but this is the 1 hour chart. As you see here, we have a steady sell-off or selling. Really, the volumes are not telling something important. Again, this confirms that it's hard to know why this has happened. This is a pound, the 1 hour chart. So here are no major things except for this, but I believe that this was due to a news yesterday, I believe. So yeah, at least this pattern could start showing us a potential selling opportunity up to here. Nothing fancy, just at 123, that is acceptable. It's really hard to detect. But what I wanted to show you is this. This is the 1 hour chart. Let me take a snapshot of dollar yen daily chart to close my charting package, because and wait me a second, please. I won't be late. Just give me a minute. Okay, I am back. No, I was just, I had to check something. So, let me have the daily dollar yen snapshot. If you remember, we were commenting yesterday. I'm just going to push to put the highlighting where the principal boxes were yesterday. I was signaling that maybe we could be having a box more or less here, another here, a big one here, and in the alternative scenario, I believe the other one was here, the other one was here, something like that. But the important thing is that just more or less at this time, all this box, all this one, at this time, in both the scenarios yesterday, I was detecting a potential movement to the upside with no ceiling, okay? That was curious to me because statistically that happens because we have like this one very sudden straightforward movement. We could have the opposite, but statistically the markets tend to range. But as you can see here, well, we have this very straight movement to the upside, but usually they do this. So I was really curious that even though that could happen, and I am holding a bullish view on dollar yen, I just wanted to be sure if my price boxes were correct. What we had yesterday is jumping from this box that I drew yesterday to this one. That could lead to maybe to jump back now and then use this window maybe to the upside. In the case that actually the markets continue dollar buying under this uncertainty times, overall this new factor that is Donald Trump's difficulties to continue maybe governing the United States increases the chances of being impeached, and that this would reflect the fundamental movement, but this could actually move downwards. I was saying yesterday that in both alternative scenarios, my no ceiling at some moment at this in this time in both the scenarios were to the upside, and I was saying that I needed to be sure because maybe it would have been a good idea just to open here the floor to make it a cliff either to the upside or downside. So maybe this is synchronizing with what is just about to happen. Not because, as I said, strangely, the markets synchronize, and it's like at times, like if the markets were going to know what is going to happen. But well, this would make all the senses. Yes, okay, if the dollar is the refugee, usually under these things, yen is the refugee, but I don't think this case it will be. This no ceiling thing would, as I said, would mean that it would have open skies to move here or even further. But the other way it works also. I need to see the market reaction. Yesterday the market was just to the upside. Yesterday we had as we showed you, cable and euro dollar strength. Here is the same thing, but now we are hitting as we as I explained yesterday, we're hitting the resistance, a resistance. So this could lead me to believe that the markets would tend to continue with a fundamental move even if Donald Trump chances to be impeached increase. But of course, I need overall the weekend. The weekend is going to tell us a lot of things because usually this stuff happens on weekends. If we're going to have an important outcome of this Tillerson saying something or having an arrangement with the FBI, etc., it's going to happen on the weekend. And that would make synchronization with this window, maybe, because this window was kind of here, I believe. So, but it's very close. So we have to take our precautions. Okay. In dollar yen, in other assets like euro dollar, cable, it's a no-brainer. If this is going, the Donald Trump effect is going to have an effect, it's going to be dollar bullish. That is no-brainer. But in dollar yen could be twofold. It's difficult to know. I believe that this should continue up because of the circumstances. Fed won't delay rate hikes because of this, because it has shown to be independent. That is why maybe this woman, and I commented that in that respective webinar. The Fed chairman insisted last time to say that the rate hike by the Fed was not obeying any kind of promises by Donald Trump on tax reform. And I said that it was a good thing that she reassures the market its independence, because at some moments Donald Trump apparently wanted to put his hand inside the Fed, with trying to shape monetary policy at his will. So after having this reassurance by the Fed chairwoman, the markets reacted bearishly initially, but I think that now that could allow the dollar yen to say, okay, Fed is going to be independent, so Fed should continue with the hiking the rates. So why then hold yen? I don't know if I explained myself, but that is what I believe. But again, it's difficult when you have these scenarios. I don't know. I believe that the only other president in the United States impeached and forced to leave and to quit was Nixon. I don't know how the markets reacted under those circumstances, and there were completely different scenarios than this one. So yeah, the price boxes are ruled out so far. This is only representative, just to use those boxes as a reference. On Monday, I would check out how the markets open and to have my, let's say, former proposal for price levels, because on Monday we start another month of competitions in Dukascopy. So I hope this time to make it much better, right? So I will keep posting on the Traders blog my traditional levels, on at least in dollar yen. So yeah, I will wait till Monday. If even though under this specific circumstances buying dollar yen, it's not recommendable at this level, because as we said yesterday, we have I will explain that if the market actually made it to this box, we should be facing this resistance, the 112 resistance. So technically we could maybe expect a retracement today, maybe. If we really see this moving very quickly to the upside, I can be very, very sure to tell you that this is Donald Trump related. So the market is really considering that maybe this guy won't make it in the next 3 months of presidency. So, but we need to wait, okay? This is how dollar yen behaves. This is the hourly? Yes, this is the hourly. So this is what really interested me here, this volume. I don't know if yesterday we had news on the market economy that would justify this. I am not aware of that. But yeah, it's this for me. This feels strange. This is the key word. I've been saying that trading for me is much more related to subjective aspects. And in this case, dollar yen is simply doing something that doesn't feel right for me. It feels strange. I was expecting, as I said yesterday, that maybe we could hit the zone, and maybe etc. But even having open ceilings for a potential bullish aligned with fundamentals movement in the next days, even that was to me kind of a strange. And besides that, having this movement yesterday, it's even like something is happening. It's like somebody knows something that we don't know. That's my feeling. Aligning that with the only thing that could explain that, this Donald Trump thing. Well, yeah, I believe that's going to be interesting to see how we open the markets on Monday. So keep an eye on what the politics evolve in the United States. Again, for the ones that are maybe watching this webinar recorded, and putting aside your political preferences or mine, this is a weakness game. And politics is a strategic game where one side would exploit others' weaknesses to win. Donald Trump was used to do that with others, but now apparently it's his turn to lose. So this is completely different. If you believe that he is good or not, whatever, he has been managing these latest days, 90 days of presidency, 60 days, I don't know, precisely pointing to that way, weakening, fighting at, defying the institutions, and that shouldn't be playing in his favor. And it is real that because of that, any kind of impeachment could happen quickly. When you have a very popular president who wanted to be impeached, you can see what happened in Brazil. We had Dilma Rousseff being impeached, but it took a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of riots because she was popular. But when somebody loses popularity, it's easy at some point just to remove it, even if that person got there because of the popular vote. Okay? So this is a reality. Don't think that I am saying this just because I hate Donald Trump, because yeah, I don't precisely consider him somebody that I want next to me. But this has nothing to do with this. This is a chess game, and it's a chess game. Donald Trump in 60 days lost his queen, lost his bishops, lost everything. And even the pawns are not as many as he thought. So yeah, I believe that this is getting closer to reality, this impeachment. So we need to see what happens today. We have this very, as always, important thing next week, the non-farm payroll number. Of course, if we have an ongoing, much more likely impeachment on Monday, of course, markets will simply ignore the non-farm payroll number. Will start only reacting to buying dollars because of refugee, and maybe only in case of dollar yen. The markets would be listening to what happens in the next non-farm payroll number to decide whether to continue buying dollars or go to the traditional shift on this under this kind of situations, that is selling dollar and buying yen. So next week is important. I can tell you that next week, if this Donald Trump thing is real and increases on Monday, the only thing that will be very affected by any non-farm payroll thing would be yen crosses and of course dollar yen. Besides that, it would be easy. And if you really are eager and you maybe share my opinion and you're really wanting to risk, maybe having an opportunity on euro dollar is one of the best trading things for the next month in any case that this goes this way. Because if you sum up dollar buying because the risks in the United States, then dollar buying because of the risks of French elections, maybe the worst hit is going to be euro dollar. The worst. I was saying yesterday that if the Le Pen wins, we could see us in a snap getting to parity. But that doesn't mean that the price would get there, wouldn't get lower. I'm going to show you that just to close the webinar. Euro dollar. Let me see in this chart. We see the yeah. If I'm not wrong, excuse me. If I'm not wrong, let me have this screenshot. Thanks, Catherine. Yes, I believe that I'm not feeling well for the latest hours, so maybe I just caught the flu, or at least a cold. But thanks a lot, Catherine. So this is how. Oops, we don't see the dates here. Let me have another snapshot. Here we see it. Okay, here it is. If I'm not wrong, officially euro currency was active on 1999, if I'm not wrong. And afterwards, we got to the 0.85. And from that, we just had a massive movement from, let's say, the 2000 to the 2008. Then we had 2008 crisis and consolidating, okay? We are now at, this is incomplete. Let me again have a. Pollen is in the air. Da, 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 da. That kind of pollen. Pollen in the air. So this is monthly chart. So this is the price. If you see, we have any kind of Donald Trump stuff, Marine Le Pen stuff, etc. Parity fits logical in this channel down monthly chart. So getting into parity is like a no-brainer under these circumstances if they actually crystallize. But that's like the minimum. We could even get lower. Like in Brexit, we at the first instant we had 1,600 pip to the downside, and it continued selling off gradually. So this could happen. Overall, if both the scenarios crystallize, Le Pen and Donald Trump impeachment, this is the level to retest. 0.85. That would be 500 pip, 1,500, 2,000 pip. Let's remember that the drop in the pound was like 1,000 something, 2,000 something. So yeah, it would be more or less the volatility, expected volatility. But of course, the problem is with euro dollar is that if Marine Le Pen doesn't win, but Donald Trump moves forward his impeachment, actually we could at least touch the 1. I don't see any scenario that would help bullish on euro dollar. I don't see it anywhere. But well, you need to take your precautions and to do your analysis, because of course when you watch the monthly chart, you see the previous swing is close to the 115, so it's a tons of pips. So this should mean a lot of risk for the retail trader. But this is more or less what I expect. If I was expecting parity in a snap, if Le Pen wins, if both aspects increase, this would get to the 0.85. I mean, in what amount of time? Maybe in the next 3 months. It's like Brexit. Let's put them monthly. And by the way, we have somebody next, Katerina. I guess not, because you would have told me so already. Well, here it is. Hard. Currently, is not complete. And I just closed my screen sharing stuff. So let me see if I can launch it again. No, apparently, let me see if this. Oops. Cyrilix. Hello, Rocas. How are you doing? All in the air. No, this is not wanting to download. Well, what I wanted to show you is that if you go to the monthly table chart, you will see that the drop from the 1.48 to the 1.25, it is more or less, it's less than 2,500 pip in pounds. So that would make the equivalent of 1,600 pip in dollar, in euro dollar, to get to the 0.85. So yeah, if we assume that maybe the volatility is going to be proportional, it would make a lot of sense to expect the 0.85 to be retested if Le Pen wins. So, well, I believe that's going to be everything for today, guys, on goals. As you see, today we have pure speculations. I'm not even using the price boxes because I still don't feel comfortable with them. I feel that maybe what I don't like is this feeling that something is happening, like if somebody knew something that we don't know. Maybe that is what bothers me. Maybe the levels are right, but I need to be I need to confirm that, because as you remember, I use time to wrap up. Rocket. Okay, thanks a lot. Yes, I was just asking if we were going to have somebody next. So thanks a lot, everybody. Please stay tuned for Rocas. This was Alberto Alvarado. See you on Monday. Have a safe weekend. Trade safe, be safe, and bye-bye.